Why silver could explode in 2526. Hi, this is Charles Kelly, Money Tips. Today I want to talk to you about silver. Everyone talks about gold all the time, and gold has done remarkably well. I've been talking about gold for many years, but I want to talk to you today about the gold-silver ratio. And let me just show you a chart here to explain this in a bit more detail here. Okay, so this is the gold silver ratio. Basically, the gold silver ratio is the number of ounces of silver needed to buy 1 ounce of gold. Silver has always been considered the poor man's gold. And I guess in the times when these were money, gold and silver were actually money, you know, a gold coin would be too much to buy a small item. So then you had silver coins and then copper coins. And so silver has always been sort of lagging behind gold. And so the ratio, traditionally, the ratio has been around about 61. So 61 times needed to buy an ounce, 61 times the amount needed to buy an ounce of gold. But recently it's been surging. This is the chart over 10 years. And it has been as high as 110. It more recently was uh, over 100. So, and now it's narrowing. So this means that either gold is going down, which we know it isn't, or silver is rising, which we know is true. So what we're saying is that this could be a good opportunity. This imbalance could be a good opportunity because gold could come down, silver could come down to like 61 in terms of the ratio, which means their price would be rising. Now, I'm not giving investment advice. You've got to, talk to your own advisor and make your own choices. I'm not your investment advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. But the imbalance is creating opportunities. Silver, it should be remembered, also has an industrial use in car batteries, electric batteries. What other things? Media, medical tech, electronics, solar panels. Silver is needed. So it's not just something to sit on. It has its own industrial uses. So gold is obviously a tremendous safe haven, but silver could be the one to watch. Now, I remember when you could buy, I've been buying gold and silver for many, many years, certainly 10, 15 years. And I remember when you could buy one of these silver coins, a 1 ounce silver coin for around about that amount of money for about 20 British pounds. And then it went up and up, and a few years later, it would be costing something like two of those, 220, like £40. Well, let's look at the price today then. Let's look at the silver price today for a single silver coin, um, because actually a single coin, it says here from £50, but a single coin is actually £64 today. £64 for a single coin. So even this has gone up so much since I bought this. I don't generally buy one single coin, by the way. You usually buy them in batches, but it has gone up a lot. And let's look at the price over the last. This is the price over uh, one 10 years. Let me go back to the price over a year. Look, it's gone up by nearly 60% in a year, silver there. And as I said, I've been talking about this for a while. You don't have to buy coins like this. You can buy silver bars. You can buy. You can also buy shares in silver mining companies. Well, I find that it's a bit risky, but because you don't know how those mines are going to perform. But mining stocks also have been doing very well in the past year. Let's have a quick search on mining stocks, because for a long time they were not doing very well. I was holding these stocks thinking, why am I holding these mining stocks? But suddenly they've started to come good. Let's look at Yahoo Finance here. Sorry about this. I have to go through all this stuff. Okay, mining stocks, Barrick, we looked at there. These are some of the top mining stocks, largest companies in the industry. I mean, look at the returns of some of these 400 plus 400 uh, year to date return. So it's gone today. It's gone down a little bit. I don't know why. There's been maybe some sell-offs in gold, um, but look, they're all 500 plus 500%. Some of these companies. Uh, Okay, so those are some of the of the companies there. Newmont Mine is another big one. Barrick Gold. So these are the top performing ones, but there's loads of other companies out there, but they've all been doing very, very well in the stock market recently. They've pushed things up. So I'm quite pleased with my mining stocks at the moment. So that's one way of buying. You can also buy ETFs, which track the price of gold and silver. I always find they seem to be a little bit behind the actual prices. But don't forget, when you buy a coin, there is a bid offer spread like you have in shares, and there can be quite a big difference in buying small amounts of coins because there's the cost of manufacturing and producing those coins. So when you buy a coin today and you try and sell it in a year, and so it's gone up by 30% or 59%, you're not actually going to get that when you sell it because you bought at a higher price to cover the manufacturing cost in the beginning. So some people buy larger amounts of silver, like in silver bars. But as I say, price over the last 10 years, it's been a meteoric rise, really. And you can even go back further. You can go 20 years. You can look here at the chart, 20 years. It wasn't, silver is also a little bit more volatile. As you can see, it can go up and down as well. Here we see after the financial crash, silver went up there and then it started to go down again. And now it's been going up steadily ever since. And we talked about how it sort of tracks gold. And gold, as I said, has been doing very, very, very well over the last year, 53%. And that's a lot. And why? Because the central banks have been buying gold. Individual investors are not buying that much of gold, but the central banks are. So you see like quite a huge rise there in just a year. And then I've got the chart here for 10 years here. At 10 years, look, it's just straight up, for the last 10 years. And I've certainly been talking about gold and silver back here. I was buying it around about this price, about this time, not that price. I then sold some off in around about here, 2021, it was a mistake. I shouldn't have sold it off then because I bought the gold and silver quite cheaply before. But then I got back into it. I thought, well, I've made a mistake. Let's rectify that mistake and get back into it. And we can look here at the 20-year chart for gold when it comes up here. Yeah, it's been pretty steady. As I said, it did drop here. It Gold tends to be bought when there's times of panic in the financial market, so it did rise steeply there, but then it eased off here, and people then get back into the stock market and shares and property and that sort of thing. But I mean, it's just been an incredible rise. There are some disadvantages of gold. You don't generally you can't really get an income from it. There are different techniques of lending out gold, but I'm not sure I'd recommend those. But there are disadvantages in gold and silver. It doesn't produce any income. Warren Buffett doesn't like it, in fact. But one thing about these elements is they've been around since before the beginning of time as we know it. They were formed by explosions in other solar systems that eventually landed on Earth and created Earth. So this stuff is ancient. In fact, they say that gold cannot be destroyed. If you bury it in the ground for 1,000 years, it will come out and hasn't rusted, it hasn't melted away. And that's why gold and silver have been used as money. When governments wanted, or kings and queens wanted to produce money, they controlled money, but they produced gold and silver coins, which were a store of money and a way of exchanging money. And of course, the Roman Empire started fiddling with silver coins. They started putting nickel instead of pure silver, and that kind of led to their downfall. And I certainly think, in 10 years' time, which will be worth more? Will it be a silver or gold coin, or will it be this? Well, we know what's happening with fiat currency. They're losing their value over time. Inflation is eating away at it, and the buying power of your money is going down each year. That's why you go into a shop and say, "Hang on a second, this last year, this bucket of soap powder was £5. Now it's £10." You think, what's going on? That's not reflected in the inflation figures. And some people say that it's not the price of gold and silver going up, it's the currency that is falling against it. Gold and silver is still there. It's the long term and it's still there. So you make up your own mind. You've got to decide what you want to do. If you do want to invest in gold and silver, have a look at my video where I interviewed Josh Saul, a gold expert, and he owns a company called Pure Gold, and I've used them, and they've got very good ways of buying gold. You don't have to store it in your own house; they can store it for you. You can buy small amounts, large amounts, and if you click on the link that I'm going to put in the description, you will get a free gold investment report and a discovery call with the team. They're not pushy at all. So I'd recommend if you want to buy gold. I mean, you can buy smaller gold coins. Obviously, one coin, a single gold coin, will cost you around £3,000 at the moment. Um, that's so there are various smaller coins, bars of gold, but as an ounce, it's up to around £3,000 an ounce now. Uh, and incidentally, if you look at it in dollars, it's going to be slightly different in dollars because the dollar might be falling or the pound might be falling. So, and it's almost it's a record, and a lot of gold and silver buffs think it could go even higher. They think it could, gold could go to $4,000 or $5,000 as we see, the financial crisis being extended. There is a financial crisis. There's no doubt about it. The amount that the countries are in debt. I'm going to show you something here. It's the national debt uh, clock, I think they call it here. The national debt clock. Um, I don't know the US one, but look, this is the national debt, 3 trillion, and this is how much it's going up by. Look at it, it's clicking away there, right? It's going up at £5,000 a second. It's really out of control. The government has been living on, virtual credit cards for years. The national debt interest now is roughly around 12% of the tax take in the UK. It's the amount spent on national debt, just on the debt now, is higher than we spend on state pensions, education, defense. It's crazy. And the US one, I think, is something like 37 trillion. It's even higher. Yeah, 37 trillion. I mean, it's just these numbers, the amount it's costing, it's going up and up and up. It's just absolutely crazy. So you can see that this is affecting the dollars and the pounds in your pocket, as one prime minister used, the pound in your pocket. And that's why a lot of people are going into gold and silver. I haven't got any gold with me. That's in storage, but this is why a lot of people are going into it. Again, you've got to make your own decisions. Talk to your financial advisor. But if you're looking for a good deal and a discovery call and a free investment report, click on the link to Pure Gold below, and they said you'll get this special service for my viewers. So thanks very much for listening. I'll see you again in the next episode. In the meantime, please pass this on to your friends, share it, like it, subscribe, all that stuff to help support me and this channel. So thanks very much indeed for listening. This is Charles Kelly, Money Tips. Bye for now.